So Miami Lane 5 is Anna Glennon, the blue boat at the bottom of your screen. Aoki, championship leaders, Michelle Alavai-Dan, pink and blue. Sarah Price, the American, Westbrook, the red racebird in the middle. It's Drogba with Micah Wilkinson, lane 2. Rafa, Chris Lasaraga is lane 1, and away we go. And Aoki have got the edge, but they still need to tip it down into turn 1. This is going to be so tight. Westbrook has a big moment there. Try not to run into the back of Aoki. Wow.
That was, yeah, really, really good start from Team Aoki there. I think Team Miami, Anna Glennon just caught sleeping right at the back there. And now we've got this battle for third place between Team Rafa and Team Westbrook, both trying to avoid each other's weight going into this like slightly faster part of the course. This could be an interesting turn 3.
Here comes Micah Wilkinson. It is going to be an interesting turn 3. He's Wilkinson with the Drogba boat there in second place. Westbrook, I said they were right in the middle, didn't they, with Sarah Price with a big squeeze, and there was a big squeeze down into turn 1, and I have to say everybody did a phenomenal job, because I thought we were going to get some contact momentarily. We remind you, no short or long laps on the opening run. Aoki then have the advantage, but as we've said already, it's a 3-second lead, but that can disappear in the blink of an eye. It only takes one moment and that would evaporate.
Michelle looking very smooth around these turns, just building on that advantage and that gap pretty much every single turn. And this kind of seeing maybe a similar position to what we saw with Team Brady in the last race.
And the leaders, Aoki, are taking the short lap already, and so are Drogba. What do Rafa do? We're looking at the bike in third place. They're not taking the short lap.
Now that's exactly what you want to do when you're in the lead, is take that short lap as early as possible to stop
What's going
anyone.
on with Aoki?
Oh, there's a problem with Aoki.
They did the short lap there, Saunders, but then they've gone the wrong way, so...
Have they missed the rejoin, or there's an issue maybe?
They should have carried on to the top of the screen where Drogba is now, so what a nightmare. Drama already then here in E1 at round 4 at Lago Maggiore. Michelle did the short lap, look, which is the blue line you can see. Now she's going to have to do it again. She's effectively going to lose a lap now, isn't she? I don't believe it. So seldom you see something like that happen. I wonder what happened there.
And that's just fallen perfectly now for Team Drogba, who've now inherited that lead and did the short lap, so got the benefit of having that clean water on the rejoin.
Okay, we're going to have to keep up with this then, aren't we now? Because we've seen that Aoki technically are still in the lead, but surely a penalty coming their way. So Drogba effectively, as you can see for yourself there they are. Although they're shown in second place, they will obviously be inheriting the lead. Have they done a short lap? The answer is yes. They're yet to do the long lap. You can see that from the graphics. So Aoki now going around the long lap at the top of your screen, but it will be Drogba who will effectively lead this race. As sure enough, we now have the confirmation through that there are 2 long lap penalties for this boat here, Aoki. There is the confirmation. That'll be fed through by Team Radio as well. Oh, Saunders, I still can't believe what we've just seen. What a nightmare.
Yeah, that's a real nightmare for Team Aoki, but very much a good situation for Team Drogba. And I wonder when they're going to start thinking about to use that long lap, because they do have the buffer. It's about 13-second gap to Team Rafa behind. You lose, a reminder, you lose about 10 seconds in the long lap. So that would currently bring them out still in the lead, but crucially, would it bring them out in the clean water, which is what they're trying to do.
There's Anna Glennon. She has already done a long lap, so she looks a lot further behind than she really is. Just using the boost there, you can see who's on the boost from the graphics at the top of your screen. That's been changed, incidentally, for 2025. You can now use it intermittently around the lap, and it takes roughly double the number of seconds you've used the boost for. So let's just say you use 3 seconds of boost. To get that fully charged again, it will take around 6 seconds, but they do have 30 seconds available on a single lap as we now look down, and the situation is Wilkinson is effectively your leader, even though shown in second, because those penalties are coming the way of Michelle, who's leading.
There's about a 14-second gap now, so there is safety to do this long lap. So I wonder if the spotter will be talking to Micah in the cockpit, saying, you know, this is maybe an opportunity we can do it. We're seeing, is that Team Aoki doing that long lap at the back? No, it's not. It's Team Aoki, just done one of their long lap penalties.
Yeah, absolutely. So 2 so far in terms of 1 actual long lap, 1 long lap penalty, and 1 more to come. We're getting a few whispers about some protests maybe coming through as well off the start, so more coming your way in a moment. Wow, can you believe it? What's the gap there now between second and third, which of course is going to effectively be the fight for this win? Have they done any short or long laps so far, Rafa? No, they haven't actually. So Rafa still need to do both the short and the long lap. That's going to get tight, incidentally, at the top of the screen. as Rafa just rejoined. So Rafa have now done their first long lap there with Chris Lazaraga, and I just saw her rejoining at the merge point in front of Sarah Price, who's with Will Smith's red boat. That's the Westbrook Racing boat. There they are in third and fourth positions, but you still have another short lap to come here for each of them. So now effectively they should stay in theory where they are, and this is a perfect example of just how difficult it is to see where you're going.
Team Rafa, having now done that long lap, means that the gap to Drogba, between Drogba and Rafa has increased. So it's really a good opportunity for Drogba to get in that long lap, especially because they are now approaching the back of Team Aoki, almost to lap them. And I think they're doing their long lap now. That's perfect. It's great use of strategy. Don't get caught up in the wake of the boat in front. Take the long lap. You've got plenty of time. But will Team Westbrook now cause them a bit of a problem coming back on the rejoin? I think he's done enough. Yeah, safely now, and again, crucially in that clean water in front to get back on the power and keep the lead.
Rafa protested Drogba, we're hearing, Saunders, but it has been rejected. Of course, the judges, the stewards have the meeting, have had a look at that, and it's all part of the game as well. But if they clearly feel an unfair advantage was gained, that's how it works. But no luck this time in terms of the protest. We're now on the final lap of this race. We were briefly on board there with Westbrook. So Aoki still up at the front at the moment. But there is, of course, one more long lap to come. Now, this is going to be tight, isn't it? Because Drogba are in that second place. We know it is effectively 10 seconds you lose when you do the long lap, and there's 12 between them. This could be very, very close.
Rafa now coming in for their short lap. It's about a 6-second game. It's going to be very close on the rejoin. This could cause Drogba all sorts of problems, and Rafa have done it. They've used that short lap perfectly, got themselves in front, now going to cause all sorts of problems in the wake for Team Drogba.
Dan has done an amazing job to stretch out the advantage, knowing she's got all these long laps to do. So this is the third long lap they've had to do now. One is a standard one, two penalties, and how tight is this going to be now between all three of them? Look at that, Aoki on the left, just about getting in front of Rafa. Wow, it doesn't get much closer than that, does it? And have they got away with it? That awful error that was made earlier on in the race, and it seems as though they might be able to get away with it. They've taken the penalties, they're still leading, and we're coming up to the last corner on the last lap now. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of discussion about this as they all make their way back to the launch zone. What a way to win! Michelle Alamadin is over the line, at least on the water, but then of course we will await the official results. Rafa are second, Drogba for now are third, and Westbrook will be fourth.
That's great use of strategy from Rafa to take that short lap in the last lap. They did exactly what they needed to do. Excellent work from the spotters to communicate that down to Chris Lazaraga. Take the short lap, pop themselves in front of Drogba, who were essentially leading straight after that Aoki issue. And it really felt like it was theirs to lose, but Rafa timed that perfectly.
They certainly did, and Anna Glennon completing the 5 there for Team Miami, is coming through now for that 5th position, several seconds behind. Really lost a lot of ground there off the start. Well, that was, and here they come now, but that was a bizarre race, wasn't it? That was so strange to see someone taking the wrong course there. As I say, there's Miami over the line now. We saw them actually, funnily enough, they're actually the first to get into the launch zone this morning when we popped down, didn't we, to see the boats being craned, the race birds being craned down into the water. They were definitely the fastest to get into the launch zone. Aoki coming in. It's going to be very interesting to hear what they've got to say with Danny Kloss as well when Michelle gets out. What a strange situation that was.